Great entry category. They've been around for umpteen years. They're basic motor cars, but still very, very fast. 1200 cc's of VW or DAC power, as they say in the classics, and incredibly light, incredibly fast, and a very good starting point. The green flag at the back of the grid is up and waving, which means that the start will be taking place in any second.
Now, they don't have neck-snapping acceleration, but what they do is corner extremely fast and brake on a dime. Let's see how they get away. There's car number 6 a little bit further back in the field. That's Ken Smith in the Jacer. The Jason Cutts designed and originally built model the Formula V's very quick. You watch him down into this first corner, third gear, full noise all the way around. It looks like Phil Moyes leading him early at the moment in the 34, also a Jacer. And car 71, we've got Gary Ogden. That's that bright orange car. Now, as we said, Formula V's a great entry into the category, and beautifully balanced little motor cars. You've actually driven these cars, Nathan, so you'd be a great way to commentate about what it's like in the cockpit.
I wouldn't say I'd be a good person to commentate on them, but I have had the pleasure, you might say, of driving one of the Formula V's a couple of races, and they certainly are fun, especially around Oran Park. You only pick up third gear twice, and that's once right here, and second a little bit at the end of the straight. Car 11 gets a bit of a nudge there, gets pushed off. That's Frank Kleinig, who's been around Formula V's for as long as the class has been around pretty much. He's found himself with a bit of a touch there from car number 8, the yellow Jacer, and that is driven by Ian Shivers. So a little bit of drama earlier on.
Well, Ian Shivers has been racing for many, many years, and that was a friendly love tap. I think there was a bit of a misjudgment of braking there. Maybe Kleinig braked early or Shivers braked late. But back on car 71, we've got Gary Ogden in that lovely orange car. And he's doing a great job out in front. And for Formula V's, that's very unusual to be that far in the lead at this point.
We've also lost Phil Moyes, who was leading on the first lap. He's had a spin coming onto the front straight. I think he's had brake problems and he's out of this one. So Gary Ogden is our early leader, and doing the chasing is Jason Cutts. Now, there's a lot of these cars here, including the one he's driving called Jacers. Jason Cutts, of course with the help of his brother David, have designed and built one of the best looking Formula V's you'll see out there on the racetrack. They've evolved somewhat over the last couple of years, but they are very quick, very streamlined, and great looking machines.
Well, that's true. There's that many different names in Formula V. You've got Elfin, and Elfin have been around for a very, very long time. Mako, named after the Mako shark. And things, as you said, like the Jacer, the Polar, the Spectra, and it goes on. Even things like a Lamco, Avanti, Renmax. I mean, Renmax is a name that's synonymous with motor racing cars, and even something like a Sabre. So you could say many different vehicles, many homemade vehicles, but at the end of the day, they're all powered by the same Volkswagen power plant, the same brakes, the same 4-speed gearbox, and it really does come back to driving talent.
And car setup as well. They've only just over 40 horsepower, I think from memory around about 45 horsepower from these Volkswagen 1200s, so they don't have a very high top speed. I believe around 160 to 180 kilometres an hour full bore at somewhere like Eastern Creek, where you can get a good slipstream in tow. Speaking of which, Jason Cutts comes into the tail of Ogden, pulls out, and he's going to try go wide. Now, this is going to be a pretty sensational move if he can pull it off. I don't think he's got the legs. They don't have the horsepower to pull alongside, and he's going to have to sit in behind and try to find a way through, probably on another slipstream again.
Well, that's correct. Racing Jason, as we've commonly called him in the 32 car. You can see how he's actually sizing up and trying to get into that slipstream. And they say in Formula V's that you should never really lead on the last lap, but we'll have to wait a little bit for that. But Cutsy's been around for a long time, a great exponent of Formula V, and as you alluded to, this Jacer is a very, very pretty looking Formula V racing car.
Well, it certainly is. The reason they say you're not to lead on the last lap is because the slipstream is so vital. To get the tow, you can just go so much quicker. You get in the tail, and you can see Jason has pulled out and has got around him. You've got to remember, though, that this car is also extremely well presented and put together by Jason and David Cutts, and it has always got a lot of horsepower, at least from as much horsepower as a 1200 Volkswagen get. You can see Ogden got sideways there now. Looks spectacular, but look how much time he's lost. You have to be smooth with these cars. You get the tail out and you just wash off speed.
Well, many years ago we had a Formula V in our racing school, and it was in fact very strong memories driving these. And as you touched on, if you get them sideways in any shape or form, you just lose all the momentum. And you can see actually what's happened here, that Racing Jason's out in front and he's pulled that 2 car lengths.
I think that's why I was so slow. Sail out all crossed up. It's a lot of fun, but it doesn't get you to the front of the field, where these guys are at the moment. 1 and 2, Cutts, Ogden. Then back a little bit further is Ken Smith, also in a Jacer. He's got a beautifully presented car. A bit of a battle going on
about midfield at the moment. There's Bruce Colby in the number 10. That's a Spectre with the late model body on it, and it's a well-presented car.
Well, down into the braking area, they brake very hard, set the vehicles up, but we've got back on screen now with Racing Jason in the number 32 car. I love the paint scheme on that car because I think paint schemes can actually make these vehicles look like they're going faster. So psychologically, if you present the vehicle right, you can psych out the opposition. But this vehicle that we've lost the nose cone on, obviously a little bit of close contact, so that's going to be slowing that vehicle up on the straights.
Yeah, he'll run out of a bit of top-end speed there. Jason Cutts is probably one of the most experienced runners in Formula V. Ogden has been around for a long time as well and has always been fast, but Cutts has won plenty of state championships. He may have even got an Australian champion, national championship title under his belt. Either way, he would have come close, that's for sure. He has always, as long as I have been involved in motorsport, been at the front of the field in Formula Vs. Well, he's just taken the lead from Ogden, and let's see if he'll be able to hold it out.
Well, this is the round 5 of the state championship for Formula Vs, and they take it very, very seriously. These guys out in front are really cutting-edge drivers, and whether it be a Formula V, a Formula Ford, or even up to a Formula Holden, the driving skills required, as you know, Nathan, are all the same. And you can see just how close Ogden and Cutts are racing wheel to wheel, and it's great to see guys actually racing this close and not banging wheels or changing paintwork.
Well, that's a good point. They've been pulling out, running side by side. They're open wheelers, we've got to remember, and you touch wheels and you end up airborne. Been there, done that. You can see Cutts moving to the left-hand side of the track. He's trying to break the slipstream and not allowing Ogden to get a tow, but you can only make the move once. If you swerve all over the racetrack, the officials will ping you up, and will Ogden have the speed to go around the outside? He's looking good, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it, and he'll have to pull in and try again.
Well, he'll need the Gregory Street Directory doing the scenic route out of that part of the real estate, and 71, he's going to have to sort of wait for another lap, and unless he can basically, I suppose, do a desperate late break and duel off the dogleg. This is one place at Oran Park coming up to the O'Brien dogleg. If you get the slipstream correct here, and you can see he's tucked right in behind, whether he can pull that move off, we'll just have to wait and see. But on screen at the moment, car number 63, which is James Dunn, and he's driving exceptionally well. But here we are back on this dice with Ogden and Cutts. Once again, Cutts, Racing Jason, as we call him, he's covering the line as they come down towards the start-finish line. And here we greet the checkered flag, and Jason Cutts takes out that victory from Ogden. And in third place, we've got coming across the line, Ian Chivers, and that's a great result for that race team. They'll be very happy with that. Well, Nathan, that's Formula V racing here at Oran Park Raceway.
And we'll be back later on the show for some more action from the club cars.